This is Patty Hat. It's February 17th, 1997. And Roland and I have invited Dick Hughes over to our house at 18 Colby Street, right across the road. We've invited Dick for supper, and we're all sitting around the table and chatting about how it was like growing up on a family farm, going to school many years ago, and if he has any stories to tell us. First part of the tape got cut. What you're going to hear is us asking Dick where he lived at first, which was on South Hill Road, just above the McKinnons, and what is now the Bryant home. And that's what you'll hear us talking about at first.
Yeah, right.
Where the Bryants are.
Right.
Up beyond Ledgewater Campground, up in that area. Up beyond McKinnon's.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so what school would you have gone to?
That's the Brackett School.
The Brackett School.
Yeah.
What was the name of your folks there?
Thomas and Marion Hughes.
And how many kids were there in the family?
13.
13.
And you were?
11.
11th in your family. And what year were you born, Dick?
1913, December 17th.
So this is an anniversary as you set up your birthday, right? 2 months later. So tell us some stories, how you got to school and some of the things you did at school.
Well, we walked in the summertime, and in the winter, I had a dog team, and we drove the dogs. Of course, Kathleen and Virginia were small girls, and they used to ride on the sled, and I'd stand on the back and hold on the handles, right, and ride on the
runners,
skis that stuck out on the back. And coming home, of course, it was all downhill. It was come home in no time flat, but going up, it was slow work.
And what did you do with the dogs during the day?
Oh, took Brent to the schoolhouse. Yeah. They went around, laid down, beside of my desk is a room, because I was really their master, and went out they got recess time. They went out and played with us. Came in. They were good. The superintendent said as long as they didn't disrupt the school laws, it was all right to keep them in the school.
How old were you when you moved down on the Hughes Road?
Down to the other farm?
Yeah.
I was only a little fellow. Let's see. I don't know. I think I was about 4 or 5 years old.
4 or 5.
And did you still go to the Brackett School?
Quite a walk.
Quite a walk, yeah. Could you use your dog team from there?
Well, I mean, one of the time we did some, but we generally walked.
On the farm, you must have had to do a few chores.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I started milking a cow, when I was only, I was going to say 10 years old. And then I got so I milked the one next door. At the time I was milking. I never was a fast milker, milked a lot of cows, but I just milked 3 more cows. All the rest of the guys were milking the rest of them.
No,
we didn't have a milking machine, so.
You went 8 years to the Brackett School, and then Colbrook to high school, right? Now on the farm, didn't you have a hired hand?
Yeah. Old Willie Hicks worked for us. After my father died, he came to work for us for 3 years.
How old were you when your father passed away?
9 years old.
9 years old, pretty young. So, he was quite a practical joker, wasn't he?
Like that.
Willie was quite a practical joker.
So your mother stayed there on the farm with 13 children.
Well, it was not 13 because the older was married and gone.
When your father died.
Yeah, it's quite a spread in your family.
Because
Quite an age spread in your family. Quite an age
let's
spread.
see. Well, because Arthur was the oldest one. He had Harry, who was 4 months younger than I was, and then there was Harold that lived in Boston. He used to come home for his vacation and spend 2 weeks at home, and he would come and pick us up at school with the old Model T Ford and bring us down around by the fish hatchery down Mohawk, take us to the drugstore and buy us ice cream
Quite a treat in them days.
and stuff like that. And so we liked to have him on for his vacation.
And you used to hay by hand.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Willie Hicks was a good hand mower. On the side. In fact, in those days, they used to have contests down at the University of New Hampshire. And they always tried to get him to go, but I don't think he ever went.
You didn't go.
He was good. He was good at anything at the old timers, like with an axe. You chop a tree down, you go time flat. And his axe would be just as sharp as a razor. And he was sheared sheep, and did things like that from old timers.
Did you learn to shear sheep? No.
No,
Because today they use clippers.
Electric clip.
Electric clippers. Yeah. And then they also had turn the things in there.
How did they shear sheep in the old days? Must you use
Just sheep shears.
sheep shears?
They were, you probably see them. They were just one piece of metal twisted up, and then they shaped the spring open, You could shear a sheep, no time flat.
no, I never see them. I've seen the type that you turn the crank
Yes, with the clippers.
to run the clippers.
Yeah. Have you done it with it?
I've never sheared a sheep, but I've seen them use them.
And then with the wool, you would send that out to be made into yarn. Where would you send the wool to be made into yarn?
I don't
Did your
know.
mother spin it?
Somewhere. Of course, there's a lot more than what we would use. What I mean is, however they took it, they sold part of the wool to them, and they made the yarn and gave it to us, as ours anyway. For what we need, what we wanted. I used to, my mother wasn't too much of a knitter, but the lady next door, an old lady, she used to knit mittens for us. Nice mittens, nice heavy mittens. And socks. And then they would take an old pair of wool socks, cut the feet off that had torn out, and sew in new.
Make your feet.
And Mrs. Hall, she used to do a lot of that type of work for us.
That was Mrs. Hall that lived next door.
Yeah, she lived over Bobby Davis was there.
Where Bobby Davis was there.
And then when you got old enough, you would come downtown to high school. Started out with initiation, right?
Yeah.
Your water tub.
Yeah.
Explain that for me, would you, Dick? I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, well, let's see, the water trough was where, down by Howard's, where the square is, the monument is, yeah.
Yeah.
And I know, Shumway Marshall and I were going to be smart and get it over with quick. So we stripped down, our waste, and they doused us down in the bucket, in the watering trough. 3 or 4 nights out of something, the headmaster came over and put a stop there.
You got wet for that.
Our initiation, nobody else coming.
Now where was this? Where you turn around the corner by Howard's or?
Right there in the middle of that dummy.
Yeah. There's a monument there now, right?
No.
No. What is there?
Flowers. Where they plant the flowers?
They plant
Yeah,
flowers there.
Yeah.
But you used.
Yeah.
Flowers.
And you said, what did you say? Your grandfather used to own the Colebrook house?
Yeah.
When you went to high school?
Yeah.
So you would keep your horse
Yeah.
in his barn? And you worked for him after school with your horse?
Mm.
Doing what? Did you work for your grandfather?
No.
You used to pick up
Swell.
swell, right?
For your grandfather?
Well, no, we took it home and raised pigs.
You picked it up you took the swill from the Colebrook house and took home to feed the pigs?
Grandpa used to haul up to me, I guess I told you this.
Yes, but we need to hear it again because we didn't catch it on that first tape. So
No matter where I was, he said, Dick, don't forget swill. And so all the kids picked it up. They said, they'd haul across the street, Dick, don't forget swill. Yeah, even the day of the prize parade, and I was the school marshal. Yeah. Grab all it to me. Told me not to get the swell.
did you ever forget the swill?
Oh, I guess I did a few times.
Now, we probably should explain that we did this once before and the battery didn't work. We're redoing this so we can remember some of the questions we asked you before. But you said that when you came down to the high school, your 2 younger sisters weren't ready for the high school.
Right.
But they had to come down with you and go to the elementary school down here and pay tuition because of transportation. Because you couldn't get them up to the bracket.
Oh, no, we could get them up. Just the two of them, And
Made it more convenient.
they were decided to send them down there. Had to pay tuition, no, but wasn't much.
It wasn't much. You don't remember in those days what the tuition would be. So can you tell us some stories about going to Colebrook Academy when you were a young fellow?
Well, I played a lot of basketball.
Were you a good basketball player?
We didn't have good teams then.
You didn't have good teams then.
Not like they do there.
Where did you used to play? In the old town hall? Or?
Yeah. We had a nice coach. He was a good guy and enjoyed the playing for him.
What was his name, Dick? Do you remember?
Phil Barton.
Phil Barton.
And he went on to, let's see, he went to school at Greeley Institute, and so we went down there and played ball because of his old school, see. And then he went when he got through here, he went to the University of New Hampshire, and he was something down there, something to do with the agriculture department.
At the University of New Hampshire.
University of New Hampshire.
Now, when you went down to Greeley Institute to play, did you go as a member of the high school team or the town team?
Take that?
When you went down to Greeley Institute to play, did you go as a member of the school team or the town team? School team.
We played Greeley Institute.
And where was that?
Today they were a big school.
They're a big school.
Yeah, when I was down to Howard's, I used to rebound, and I think we went to one of their games one night.
So that's in Maine.
Yeah.
Somewhere near Portland?
Yeah, just outside of Portland. And I know Harry and I stayed at this house, and they were, kind of a poor family. They had a big family, and it was cold. Oh, it was a cold, cold night. Gosh, almost frozen to death. The next morning, we got up, and they gave us something to eat. It wasn't much, but we started for home, and I said to the coach, "Hey, See a place here, an old store, something grocery store. Stop, I'd like to get something to eat. We said, did you eat breakfast? And I said, yes, but it wasn't much. And so he stopped at a restaurant.
So you got to the games, the coach drove you? What, in his car?
In those days, they didn't have any buses. Oh, they all went with private car.
Mm-hmm. You stayed overnight in houses.
Have a trip like that, I was around here with Lancaster and Dalton and Posting City. We went, came on.
Now you didn't have, in those days, they probably did they have the school divisions like Class S, Class M? They didn't.
We played the top school. In fact, as we played Burlington High School. They were. I take this back though. We played a game, I think, at Berlin. Lancaster played the first game, and we played the second game. And they had a good second game. They went on that year and won the New England tournament. Berlin did.
That second team that you played?
Well, they were the second team. They were, they went along with substitutes.
Mm-hmm.
After high school, you went to work?
Wait.
Yeah.
Did any of your brothers or sisters play any sports, Dick?
Yeah, Maggie did. And Kathleen was a good basketball player. She played on a team that was, I don't know, I forgot now what they won in the division, and they were a good ball team.
Did anyone in your family play baseball?
No, the older boys did. The older ones. I wasn't in baseball.
The older boys played baseball? Would that be Ted? Ted, Homer? Did Ted play baseball?
I don't think Ted played any baseball.
Homer?
Maybe he did. I forgot. Played basketball. He was a pretty good basketball player. He played with the team that went to, as I just told you this. George Kelsey, Henry Levitt, and Ted, Rocky George, and Louis Ramsey. And they went to a tournament. Did pretty well. I think they won their first game last year. But then, I guess I told you this once, that they were playing all in one class.
Right.
They weren't class S like they are now.
So it was all one class, so the competition was pretty tough.
Now, they were playing in schools, 10 times in its school as a public academy.
And where were the playoff games held?
I think Durham.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. That was quite a few years ago, but I believe that they played the playoff games in there too.
Now, this Louis Ramsey, did he go on to be a principal?
Principal or
teacher? Superintendent?
Was he?
Well, when I went to school in Enfield, he was my principal, and then I think he went on to be a superintendent. So it's a small world. I didn't realize he was from Colebrook. Did you do any dating while you were in high school? Did you do any dating while you were in high school? Dating. I don't know.
Well, I started dating my wife when she was a freshman, like I say, and all the guys kidded me, said I was robbing the credit, and we went together for years. Almost as bad as old Fake Hughes and his girlfriend.
As who?
Fake Hughes and his girlfriend. He went with this lady. Her name was Delia Whipple. She was an old school teacher, and he used to stop on the way going by and come in. In the wintertime, he'd be going up on Piper Hill after a lot of hay, and my mother would get after him. Now, Faye, when are you and Delia going to get married? Oh, I don't know. I'll probably get around to it. No, they never did.
They never did. Did you date anyone else besides Carolyn?
No, that's not the sweet one. I guess I went old. Two girls, but no. Didn't get serious.
Did you say something about a girl in Littleton?
Yeah, one of her. Yeah, we used to correspond with her and went down to visit her one time. This was before I started going with Carolyn.
And what was her name, Dick?
Velma Fogg.
Velma Fogg.
She was Francis' cousin. Francis Hughes.
So you and Francis went down one weekend to visit her?
That's when Bill Hicks put the onion in the suitcase.
Bill Hicks put an onion in your suitcase. That was your hired
I
hand.
did. I got on all the clothes and hang them up. Yeah, I'm out. She was a nice girl, Velma. She died young, too.
But nothing came of that. Nothing came of that correspondence. You met Carolyn and that was it?
Same here.
Same here, right. I was just telling Roland he could take over now. I just didn't want to skip that school experience before you got into the store. So,
what did you do after high school there? What did you do after high school?
Honestly, I started working in the store.
Royal store?
Royal.
Where was that now?
Out on Main Street, where the parking lot is. There's at the bank, there's between Dixon's and the bank.
And Harry Hughes was running it at that time? Who was Carolyn's father? He was Carolyn's father.
His father was a Civil War vet.
Harry Hall's father.
You talking about Mr. Royal?
No.
No. Oh.
He called.
Yeah, okay.
Did he live here in Colbrook?
He and another old guy up on the Pleasant Street, they used to have gardens, you know. And, of course, there were a lot of horses out there. And they would go out and scrape up the horse shit on the road, you know. Put on the garden.
There probably was more of that.
There were feud over who hunted the next pile of horses. Claude put in the basket, take it out, nothing on the ground.
Now, who was Claude? Was that Harry's father?
That's his name. Deacon. He was deacon of the church.
Decals, okay. And what was Claude? Was he the other fellow that was trying to get the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as far as the store, didn't Mr. Royal own that store for Harry Hall?
He built, Mr. Royal built the building.
He did.
I mean, he added it.
Yeah.
Like I say, he was going to buy this house over here.
Susie Keach's house?
Yeah.
Yes.
And he says he could buy it for, I think it was $18,000 at that time. And he says, I'll buy that house. And Victor Moran was doing carpenter work for him, and I'll put Victor over there and have him, because he was in tough shape. And put him in the house and let him remodel it and overhaul it. And he when she can live right here. She says, no. So if I move out of here, I'm going to move farther away. She didn't want me right up the office. Washing my own house. But it never worked out.
But,
I mean, he didn't
so he didn't do it.
He could have stopped it.
But you didn't move.
No, we didn't.
So where did you live, Dick?
Well, we lived upstairs, and when the children were born, we changed. Harry moved upstairs. We moved downstairs because the kids, you know, I'm not going to see them.
And where did Mr. Royal go?
He lived with us.
He lived with you.
He had sugar. They do brokers. Yep. He had sugar, white badge, and I take insulin all the time.
So Carolyn took care of him?
She even gave me insulin.
She gave him the insulin. And you had 3 children. Now, did Carolyn have any help with the children?
Well, when there was one, for a year or two, for a few weeks after they came to Hicks, she had them when see, Tommy Norris was a nurse when the babies were born. And then Carol Jackson's mother came to work for us. She would do the housework.
Carol Jackson's mother.
She was good. She was a, what do you call it, what kind of a...
Midwife?
Yeah. She was very good.
Didn't you have another woman that used to be there after a while?
Huh?
Persis?
Oh, yeah. The old lady?
Yeah.
Now, what was she?
Well, she was old. She was just like one of the family. The kids thought just as much of her, you know, they did.
Was she Benny Gould's? Old Benny Gould's?
Yes, Benny Gould's
sister?
Mother's sister.
Benny Gould's mother's sister. So she's Benny Gould's aunt. And she was old.
What?
I said she was old.
Yeah. Of course, yeah, we thought just as much of her as the kids did, as they did in the family.
Did she live with you for a long time?
She was awful strong. She was a thin person. Wasn't an ounce of meat on her, but boy, she used to scuffle with Philip when he was in high school. He was 15, 16 years old. And boy, he said, she's strong. She get all in and just like the voice strips. And he said she was a strong woman.
She used to kind of spoil Philip a little, didn't she? She used to spoil Philip a little, didn't she?
Yeah. She was a good person. But like I said, the kids thought just as much of her as they did anybody else.
Now, along with working in the store, you guys used to do a little butchering on the side, right? Harry had a slaughterhouse.
He did? Where was that?
Up Cooper Hill, as you, let's see. Lambert has an auction place down there now.
Yeah, somewhere
But
near
the old slaughterhouse, they burned that.
Right.
Now, what did you sell? Local beef and pigs and things?
Oh, well, I mean, we butchered hogs and Bill used to
Bill
come in.
Bill butchered up there?
Yeah.
When he was a young boy?
That's all he used to butcher. He would butcher the hogs, and then we would also butcher beef now and then. Good native beef we would buy, you know.
You buy it and sell it in the store, right?
Huh?
You buy good native beef and sell it in the store. During wartime, must have been a little hard to get beef.
What?
During wartime.
Oh, yeah. Must have being able to buy native beef and butcher it while we got rid of one and stuff.
Now, did you have to go in the war? Were you in the war? No.
Now, as far as the store, when you butchered a lot of pigs, you sell a lot of salt pork, and used to, they put it out.
Yes, we'd have
barrels, right?
10 barrels of salt pork sometimes in the summer. That's nice pork. Some lean meat, but most of the lean meat we put in the sausage.
Never had much trouble getting rid of salt pork. No.
We used to sell some of the stores down below. We got too many barrels ahead.
And what were some of the people that worked for you in the store did?
Carol Jackson and Herman Taylor.
Carol cut meat. Herman didn't.
And then later on, after
Herman was store
cut through, Carol went up above. Went to work for Curry's. Herman was Herman.
Herman went to Lambert. Went down Lambert.
Oh, yeah. Right. And they were both good friends. And then we had a bunch of young guys. Dale Stewart.
Freddie Stewart's brother?
Who else? Two, three other guys that can't remember the name.
So can you tell us?
And we had a girl that worked for us. Over there. Joyce. She married Wayne Holden.
Oh, yes.
Her name, Joyce.
Who did Wayne Holden marry? I thought the last name was Joyce. It wasn't?
Huh?
Joyce wasn't her last name, was it?
No, that was the first.
That was her first name. Tape 1, side 2. And we were just talking about Wayne Holden, and his wife worked in the store before she married him for you.
I can't think what her last name was. Nice girl.
Now, what did she do? She was clerk there at the store? She was the clerk? And tell me a little bit about the store, Dick. Roland, you might know too. The flour and stuff like that, it wasn't packaged in 5 and 10 pound bags like it is today, was it?
Well, yes.
It was.
See, we had Oxford flour, Columbus flour.
You had what?
Oxford.
Oxidant flour.
And Columbus.
Columbus?
Did you hear that?
No.
And that was a brick flour, like the name was Oxford. And then they had pastry flour.
Pastry flour.
Yeah.
Was it kind of like a finer flour?
I suppose so. It was pies and cakes and stuff like that.
Remember you was telling me one about when Cat let her first come in. Callie Pease's mother. Can you tell that story?
Oh yeah. This woman, she was related to my wife too. I want to tell you how she is. She bought a bag of kitty litter, everything.
Yeah.
And then she came back a while later and she says, I've put the raw milk on it and everything. The cat still won't eat it. She was feeding it to the cat.
Trying to feed
thought
it.
Thought it was cat food instead of.
No, a lot of changes. Not all.
Now, Dick, I would assume when you first started working in the store that it was mostly cash and carry. People paid cash.
No, there's a lot of charge.
A lot of charge counts.
Yes.
Did people pay them?
Well, most of them. Some of them are kind of lax about it. Been a lot better off if they had been all cash. Let's see. When we finally closed up, went out of business, I think that I had about $800 worth of, which really wasn't bad considering the length of time of bad bills.
Did you try to collect them?
Oh yeah. Most of them run off quicker, patting your head against the wall.
Would it surprise us if we knew who had the bad bills?
Wait, what?
Would it surprise us if we knew who did?
Well, sometimes I tell you a guy that was just as honest and always paid his bills. And you run a bill. Was old Freddie Hall.
Freddie Hall?
Yes, sir. Remember he had his arm cut off?
Yeah.
Worked in the mill? Oh my gosh, he paid his bills.
It's surprising some. No, remember you telling me about Harry Hall one time some guy burned out?
Oh yeah. Who was it though? I can't remember now.
Grace Cross's father.
Huh?
Grace Cross's father.
Grace Crosses.
That would be Phillips.
No.
Old man Phillips was Grace Cross's father.
Was it?
Yes, Grace Cross.
Oh, then I'm wrong.
And he went
Her grandfather, I guess it was.
Let's see, now how the number was it? He took the bill, went out,
Yeah.
and the guy thought he was there to collect the bill. He was,
Right after he burned out.
he gave him the bill and told him.
Well, that was nice. That was nice of him. Did you have a checkerboard in the store? Did you have a checker game board? It wasn't an old-fashioned store.
Old-fashioned. Quite as old-fashioned as.
Now, when did you and Carolyn get married?
Well, that's a good question.
Right after she graduated from high school,
right
or did she go to college?
Right after she got out of the. She was real young. I think I was 29, so. And she was 19, 20.
You couldn't have been 20. Not to contradict you, Dick, but didn't you say that she was a freshman when you were a senior?
Yeah, right.
You couldn't have been much more than 4 years older then.
Oh, I guess you're right.
4 or 5.
You must have been about 24. No, not even that old.
23, maybe?
22, 3.
No, she was young. All the guys used to tell me I was robbing the cradle. Cradle robber.
You had 3 kids?
Philip, Nancy, and Howard.
Philip, Nancy, and Howard. Now, why did you sell the store, Dick? Why did you sell the store, if you don't mind my asking?
Oh, because it was on Main Street. Got to the point where people were looking for a shopping center and shopping space. Didn't have any space to speak of. And the meters came in.
Packing meters came in. Mm-hmm.
And it just got to the point where I was doing business.
Bigger stores kind of forced small ones out, huh?
Yeah, right.
What did you have for bigger stores that had come in at the time? Had the IGA come in, the red and white over here? Had that come in?
Yeah, red and white. Right over here.
Mm-hmm.
And then LaBelle was down below,
Yeah. He was down the old railroad station.
In the old Courier building, where Bill Cummings is now?
Yeah. Right. Of course, he at least had a little parking.
And then Lambert, you had Lambert down there, the other end of town.
Now, did you sell that to the bank for a parking lot? Is that what happened?
Mm-hmm.
So you got a chance to sell it. And then what did you do, Dick? And then what did you do?
I went to work up the rest area.
Well, before that, you went to work for Leon down there.
Oh, yeah, I worked for Leon, that's right. So.
Down to the old Courier store?
Yeah.
Down to the old RGA?
And then you
I wasn't, I was just part-time, wasn't I?
Yeah, part-time, but because I know you were there when I went to work.
You went to work for him?
Yeah.
Well, that's where you met this character, huh? That's where you met this character. Down to Leon's.
Right.
Well, let's see, what was that?
Yeah. I got to know you there, and then we moved up to the old red and white building.
So what did you do? Did you cut meat for Leon?
Some.
Used to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
And after that, you went up to the rest area.
Yeah.
What Roland calls Lady Bird Johnson's outhouse. Right?
A lot of people did.
A lot of people did. What did they call it? $1 million outhouse? $1 million?
Outhouse?
Is that what they called it?
I don't know what they call that Lady Bird.
You worked for Roger Young was in charge.
Roger
went up there.
And what did you do up there, Dick?
Sit there and talk to people when they came in.
Napped in between.
All kept the place clean.
You had to keep it clean, inside and out? Inside and out?
let's see, to start with, we used to do the mowing, mow the lawns, and then they stopped us doing that. Could be mowing a long way off down somewhere in the cars would come in. And so they told us to look out for the place inside and forget about the outside one. Which was all right with me.
I remember Carolyn used to take your lunches to you sometimes.
Yeah.
Did you have any stories to tell? Anything funny happened while you were working there?
I can't remember.
Can't remember?
There was some things that happened, all right. Let's see. How was it? Somebody, I don't know what it was. Somebody came in and then used the toilet and she put with them. Come out and cut the car and went right off with the kid.
Left the kid?
Come way up the street. I think it was a little boy, little girl. Come out, went all right in front of the folks. Gone. I thought you was with him. No. And he started crying, or he, she, I forgot what you were. I said, oh no, they owed me shit. I'll come back after you. Put us some back.
Must have been quieter than most kids. Dick, you were telling us a story earlier that we got on the first tape and didn't work here, that we didn't get on this one. When you played baseball in high school?
No.
Basketball. I thought you said that softball. You played softball.
Played softball.
And you went out to the Balsams.
Yeah.
They had a team. This was for the town team?
Oh, yeah. I should pick up that.
And you went out, you thought you were pretty good. You thought the team was pretty good and you went out to the Balsams, and what did you meet out? Tell us that story.
It was they had a guy there that was a college boy, and he was a baseball pitcher, but he also a softball pitcher. He threw that ball just like a bullet. He made us look like monkeys. And he didn't have any trouble beating us. But how the devil was it? I used to have a fellow come up, Brad, that was a New Hampshire provision man.
Yeah.
Did you know him?
No.
Right. And he was a pretty good pitcher. And so I got him to come up one Sunday, and we went out to the Balsams and played this guy, and by gosh, we beat him.
You beat him that time?
Yeah.
Well, good.
And he was a good pitcher, though. He could throw that. I think I struck out every time I went up. Didn't go by.
That was a town team that got together and played softball. And you played basketball as a town team too, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
You played quite a number of years basketball, right? You played quite a number of years on town team. Like, didn't Gifford recommend after a while that you'd ought to get done?
What's that?
Didn't Gifford recommend that you'd ought to think of getting done after a while? Basketball?
Didn't he
recommend that you might want to think of getting done?
I forgot.
How old were you when you quit playing basketball for the town team?
Oh, geez. Gosh, I'll say 50.
Wow. No wonder he recommended it.
I don't know, was I that old? I don't know.
Who played with you, Dick?
Oh, back to start with, it was the old crowd, like Henry Levitt and George Kelsey and the Jordan boys. And then the last of it, there was never was the last of it. And all together different march, young guys. I remember now who they were.
You guys used to travel around quite a lot, right?
We went to, I guess I told you this was. We went to Portland and played teams down there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they came up here and played them. One or two of them did. Let's see, when the last of it, who the devil was it? Brad came with the New Hampshire Provision. Frank Foss, he played with us.
Frank Owen.
And Bradley, Luther Bradley. And, I can't remember now the guys was the coach. They're a pretty good team.
So after that, you played golf too, didn't you? Played golf quite a bit? Who did you golf with?
Harold George more than anybody else.
Harold George? Yeah.
I told Trudy the other day that she lost a good husband, I lost a good co-pilot.
Good co-pilot? Yeah.
Good golf partner.
Good golf partner. He was your partner? Where did you play?
Where?
Where did you, did you play?
We played here.
Yeah.
All the time, you know. I mean.
Who did you play with?
Oh, against?
Rick Stickney? Did you play with him?
Yeah.
Or against him?
Played with him.
With him?
He was too good for us guys.
He was too good for you?
Yeah. He was a golfer. Best golfer Colbert ever had, I think.
You used to play with Danny Hebert some too, didn't you? He was pretty good.
Danny was a good golfer. Lost him, he was probably the best golfer.
Dick Hancock? I don't know who that is.
He was Ruth Walker's son-in-law.
Oh.
Married his Ruth, so used to play a lot of golf.
Now, in later years, you kind of got away from golf and got into woodlot, didn't you?
Yeah. I got so I couldn't play golf or couldn't hit a ball from here across the street.
Your woodlot was up on Fish Pond Road.
Huh?
Your woodlot was up on Fish Pond Road. Your woodlot was up on Fish Pond.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
You spent a lot of time up there.
What, trimming trees and stuff? Roland worked up there with you quite a bit.
Developed a little Christmas tree plantation.
Well, now let's see, who is it has it now? Philip and his son.
Did they ever go up there?
He was here some and went up and trimmed trees.
Your Christmas tree lot's kind of grown up now.
Yes. Yeah, it's getting too big.
Yeah.
You spent a lot of hours up there, Dick.
They could be trimmed up though and out.
Oh, yes. But
his boy has been at that for quite a while. He ought to be pretty good at it. Rick. He worked with a Christmas tree man down in Springfield.
Down in Springfield, Mass?
It takes time. You got to come up. And
yes.
If you're not around, you're not likely to.
I thought he was going to come up and either stay with me or Annette and work on his trees up there. He never had.
Maybe there's some better interest down there somewhere.
Huh?
Maybe there's some better interest down there.
Well, there's a young fellow that he works for, and I guess he keeps him pretty busy.
Yeah.
Now, didn't you used to have a camp out to Diamond Pond? Was that a hunting camp or what was that?
Yeah. Well, it was an all-around camp.
All-around camp.
Let's see, who it ended up with that? Bud Halls?
Well, Bud Halls has a camp out there, I know.
Did you sell that camp from lack of interest of the kids?
The kids didn't care anything about it. We'd go out there on a Sunday and they wouldn't go. No, nobody out there. They'd stay down here and play. Philip would play baseball. They didn't care anything about camp anyway.
Once they hit a certain age, it's hard to get them to go with the old folks.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Did you do any hunting from out there, Dick?
Oh, yeah.
Were you ever much of a hunter?
No.
No.
There's quite a few deer, but I didn't. Seems though there's a lot of space in it.
What'd you probably do? Move too fast in the woods?
Huh? Well, that's what everybody used to tell me. They said, now that you've got your hip done and don't walk so fast, you probably go out and sit around and maybe get a deer.
Now, what about skidooing? You went skidooing some.
Yeah.
From
We used to cut a lot of trails together.
Yeah.
You and I. Back them days when skidoos were
Used to get tight and ride them.
slow, it was pretty good. A lot of fun out there.
A lot of, I say, when we get tight though and ride those things, when they get killed.
Yeah, but in them days the machines didn't go as fast as they do today.
No.
That's probably a lot of it.
Yeah, today they go, what, 100 miles an hour?
Yeah, right.
We're up to go that fast on them today. Crash into a tree.
Most times speed we were going, you wouldn't hurt too much if you hit a tree.
That's right.
Did you ever ski, Dick,
Yeah.
when you were younger? High school, back on the farm, or when did you ski?
Well, I started out, I used to ski around up here, and then we used to go down the mountains on a Sunday. Ski at Cannon Mountain, Cannon Mountain.
You did?
You used to do a lot of skiing up on Hicks Hill, didn't you?
Yeah. They had a toll up there.
Now, where is Hicks Hill? Is that up by the country club?
No, up, yeah. You know where, this side of the hospital?
Yeah.
Who lives in now? Field off.
Yeah, Field off
Oh,
along there.
who did you ski with?
Oh, I don't know. Anybody that wanted to go.
Or who did you go down to Cannon Mountain
Let's
with?
see, on a Sunday like that, some of the guys of my age, and Carolyn used to ski some.
Carolyn did? Yeah.
She wasn't a good skier, but she went through the motion.
Now, were you in the Masons, Dick?
Yeah.
Yeah. Carolyn used to stay.
Oh yeah, she was a she was a big shot in Eastern Star.
She was. What do you call the head? What's the head person in Eastern Star? Was she ever the leader?
Eastern Star? No, I don't think.
No.
Was she ever?
Did you and Carolyn go through the chairs?
What in the Eastern Star?
Yeah.
I didn't belong.
Oh, you didn't belong to Eastern Star, but you could have, couldn't you?
She tried to get me to join and tried. I never got around to it. Now Bill was head of the Masons.
Yes, last year.
Yeah. Quite an honor.
Now, when you were a kid, Dick, there wasn't many moose around.
No. Anybody saw a moose, you know, it was my I was sick and I stayed home from school, and we had the cows out in the field, and my grandfather and I were sitting on a wood pile out there, and the cows went down into the corn, and so I sent the dogs over to chase them back out of the corn, and they chased them back out of the corn and started up a little ways in the field, and I called the dogs back. The dogs just started to come back. 2 dogs. This big bull moose come out of the corn, and he's nice, big set of one, and he went off toward Greenwood's Mill, and they had it in the Colebrook paper next week. Dick Hughes and Charles Hasson saw bull moose and so forth went on. And so, I mean, it was quite a thing to see a moose back in those days.
I'm sure it was.
But he went off over toward Greenwood's Mill, off that direction.
Where was Greenwood's Mill, Dick?
Greenwood's Mill was up on the side of Beaverbrook Falls, or where you cross the bridge out the Beaverbrook there before you get to the falls, Beaver Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a sawmill? Was that a sawmill?
It was a sawmill, yeah, that one. Yeah. There was a fellow, let's see, who was it now? I think it was Plant. He was coming underneath some pulleys that were running, and there was a iron arbor, whatever you call it, it was well in there, and you went under that, but you had to stoop to go under it. And he was going under it, he caught in his clothes and banged him up against the post there. And the old fellow up in the mill heard this bang. What the hell's going on? He shut his mill down. Went down and geez, I was all smashed up and he was wondering didn't kill him.
Okay.
Yeah, every once in a while, used to hear somebody getting tangled up in pulleys.
Yeah. And even that small arbor, you know, the smooth, it's still caught on his clothes.
Yeah.
Somewhere like that.
Now, we've already talked about the farm, but you said the dog's back at the moose. Have you got any dog stories to tell us, Dick? We forgot to ask you that. Have you got any dog stories to tell us? Your dogs, they chase woodchucks on the farm?
Oh, yeah. I got with those two dogs out of stone walls. So they would get a woodchuck in the stone wall and they'd back, stay right there all day long until I went and lifted the rocks up and pried them up and so forth. And then they'd catch them. Oh, little woodchucks, boy, they'd come out and snap.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they can snap a dog's nose, boy.
If they'd ever catch a dog's nose, he'd...
Yeah.
Now, when you got married and lived in Carolyn's house, did you have dogs there?
Yeah.
In town? Town dogs? What'd they do?
What?
Got any dog stories in town? I've heard you tell a couple.
Those dogs that we had there are just mutts.
Mutts?
Had an old dog, Sooty, his name was.
Sooty?
When Howard was a little boy. Little black guy, his little black puppies. And he used to go to the store with me every morning. He knew he got so that he would just automatically be ready to go to the store for a minute. He'd come up the street and pick out his after the store. I'd cut him off a rib bone and put that in his mouth down the street again.
He'd go back home again.
Yeah, exactly.
And you had another dog. I think you told us a story about a dog named Zeke. Is it Zeke?
Zeke, oh yeah. He was a dog that, who gave him to me? It was a city dog. I was used to country practice. They kept him on leash all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the woman that, Jenny Berry was next to him. He was, unless she was a friend of hers, I think. He gave out a dog and she gave him me. He was a smart dog, but all of his smartness went to meanness.
All his smartness went to meanness.
He would, if I went out with a car, he'd tag me up straight, you know. Run, could that guy, could he run? I used to clock him on the car for a speedometer. I forgot now, but my gosh, I forgot. But he was flipping it off pretty good. He was a Irish Terrier.
Irish Terrier.
A smart dog. Smart in a mean way.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty lively dogs, terriers. Now, you and Carolyn, you said lived downstairs with Grandfather Royal. You and Carolyn lived downstairs with Grandfather.
And he lived with us.
Yeah. And did you have any help? Did Carolyn have anyone help her?
Oh, we had that old lady that nursed us until she died. She was a Louis School's aunt.
Mm-hmm.
She was just like one of the family. She lived with us. She owned the kids' thought just as much of her as they did anybody in the family. Precious.
Precious. She lived with you until she died. You were her only home. Well, that was nice.
She was a nice lady.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, the three kids thought a lot of her.
And she must have been a good help to Carolyn. Must have been a good help to Carolyn.
Yeah, even when she was an old lady, she still did quite a lot of work.
Did you and Carolyn do any traveling? Did you and Carolyn do any
Yeah, I
traveling?
went to California.
You went to California?
I went to Bermuda. One of the islands. What was it? Bermuda, I guess. Let's see. We went on a ship somewhere. I wonder what was it. Was that
Did you go to the Caribbean?
Huh?
Did you go to the Caribbean? Did you go to the Caribbean?
I don't know.
No. They've been to New York. I know Carolyn went once without you with Philip, probably to the Caribbean.
We went somewhere once, and Bill and Nancy went with us. And we went by ship out of New York. And that night, a storm came up during the night before we left. The next day we went out on the ocean. And the boat would go up in the air. The waves were so high, the boat would lift right up in the air like that, and then it bang, 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 come down like that. And Bill was sick, seasick. I don't wonder. There was a couple of women with us, ate with us, and happened to be near us a lot because they were next door to us. And they said that they'd been on a lot of cruises, and that was the worst day and night they were ever on. Old Bill, he was sick and threw up, seasick. Finally, one day he got feeling good enough so he came down to eat with us. And I said, "Hello, you old puke." He didn't laugh at that.